Hatred is one of the most intense human emotions because it combines pain, anger, fear, resentment, and judgment into a powerful psychological response toward a person, group, idea, or experience. Unlike ordinary anger, which may arise quickly and disappear when the immediate threat passes, hatred can become persistent and integrated into a person's identity. It often develops when an emotional wound remains unresolved and the mind repeatedly returns to the source of that pain. Betrayal, humiliation, rejection, injustice, abandonment, and prolonged conflict can all become foundations for hatred. The mind may begin associating a particular person or group with danger, suffering, or everything that feels wrong. Once that association becomes established, the target can stop being perceived as a complex human being and instead become a symbol of the injury itself. This process makes hatred psychologically powerful because it simplifies a complicated emotional experience. Instead of processing grief, vulnerability, and helplessness, the mind can organize everything around anger. Hatred can create a temporary sense of strength because anger feels more powerful than sadness or fear. A person who feels wounded may discover that hatred gives them energy, direction, and a feeling of psychological protection. The problem is that this protection can become a prison. The more attention someone gives to hatred, the more mentally present the target becomes. Memories are revisited. Offenses are interpreted through the same emotional lens, and new information may be filtered according to existing hostility. Eventually, hatred can become self-reinforcing because the mind continually searches for reasons to justify what it already feels. The deeper psychology of hatred involves dehumanization and emotional identity. When someone is hated intensely, it becomes easier to ignore their complexity and focus exclusively on their worst qualities. This makes cruelty easier to justify because the target is no longer experienced as a complete human being. Hatred can also provide a sense of belonging when it becomes shared by a group. Collective resentment can strengthen identity by creating a common enemy, making hostility feel morally justified and socially rewarded. Yet hatred does not always remain directed outward. Sometimes prolonged resentment becomes internalized, shaping the person's worldview until distrust, bitterness, and hostility become habitual responses to life itself. The individual may begin expecting betrayal everywhere and interpreting neutral experiences as threats. This is why hatred can continue damaging a person even when the original source of the emotion is no longer present. Releasing hatred does not mean excusing wrongdoing, forgetting injustice, or abandoning boundaries. It means refusing to allow another person's actions to permanently control your emotional world. Justice and accountability can exist without allowing hatred to become an identity. Healing often requires acknowledging the original pain beneath the anger, grieving what was lost, establishing appropriate boundaries, and accepting that some wounds may never receive the apology or explanation that was hoped for. Hatred promises power because it keeps the mind focused on the person who caused the injury, but genuine power comes from reclaiming that attention. The goal is not necessarily to feel affection towards someone who harmed you. It is to reach a point where their existence no longer determines your peace. Hatred begins to lose its grip when the past becomes something you understand rather than something you continuously relive. Sometimes, the deepest form of freedom is not forgiving the person who hurt you, but refusing to let their actions become the foundation of who you are.